All right, big ups to the fam. Appreciate y'all for joining us for this installment of the Pelican Postgame Report. We up in this thing. Big ups to the fam for all things Pelicans. We up in this thing. We're gonna talk some Pelicans tonight on the Pelican. Oh, actually, this today I'm usually going at night, but during the daytime. So big ups to you guys. Appreciate y'all being in the building for this episode of PPR. Man, please feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button and the share button. We're going to talk some Pels this morning, this afternoon, depending on what part of the country you guys are in. Much love. Appreciate y'all for joining in. You got brother A. Davis, man. Are you there, man? You on the panel, bro? You want chime in?
Yeah,
On
yeah,
tonight.
I'm hanging around. I'm enjoying the show.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you chiming in. What you think about the Pelicans?
I hate to start there, but I'm trying to lean more optimistic. So been I've been trying to lean into the draft because if I think about what we should do as far as the trade situations go, I'm knowing us being Pels fans, you set up for disappointment. But I'm gonna put it out there first. The first the first move that should be made, really to me, the only move that should be made is either Trey or Mitch. Everybody understands it's gotta be one of those two. I would say you target Trey Young first because yes, he's an expensive contract, but he's signed long term. The moment you get Trey, you immediately put Z because he signed for 3 years, Trey for three. You extend Trey Murphy for three, Herb signed for three. That becomes your new core, right? You got a playmaker, creator, shooter, space, all of that. Z is amazing. So Z being your best player moves Trey Young to the two, which you could kind of see how that worked with like the Kyrie. So even if because the rumors have been going out that David Griffin doesn't like Trey Young for whatever reason, but even if that would be the case, Trey Young as the two, you see how that worked with Kyrie. Even when they had Kyrie as the one, it wasn't the best, but look what it could do for you as the two. Then you make Trey Murphy even more dynamic, which you about to spend 100 mil on him as well. So you need to put him in a situation to succeed. And also you allow her to play a little bit better. So that would leave you having to fill in your five and your bench and stuff like that. But those four, if that's your core, you can compete in the West with that, in my opinion. So with that being said, I got the move for CJ, or at least the thoughts for CJ, if it would be doable. I would move CJ if possible to Utah and try and reunite Trey Young with either John Collins and see if you could get Collins and Kessler. Now, Collins not necessarily the greatest, but if you remember if you got a great guard, you don't even need the greatest of bigs. Like look what Gafford was in Washington compared to what he looked like in Dallas. Like, and the only difference is the guard, the elite guards, make plays for him, make the game very simple. So if you got John Collins, bring him back with that pick and roll. You got the Z pick and roll. Collins can space a little bit, and if you can somehow pluck Kessler out of that, or like let's say Collins in 10, and you maybe take a draft pick or something like that, okay, cool. But I wouldn't be opposed. I just think once you move Bi, you gotta move and you bring in a player like Trey, you gotta move CJ. Too small, then you make way for Jordan Hawkins to play like just come on, do it. Also, I got a kind of like a conspiracy theory about the Willie Green extension and why it wasn't announced. I think the Willie Green extension was only like a year or two extension. Like coming into the season, I think he was going into this season was it the last year of his deal, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah.
His Yeah, so
Yes,
coming into
yes.
this year, Willie would have been coaching on the last year of his deal. And I think he had been doing well enough that Griff was probably like, I don't really want to have him coaching on, the last year. So they do the secret extension. It's probably so bad of an extension, they didn't want to embarrass him by announcing it. So I think
Embarrass him or embarrass us?
both.
Okay.
Shit, both. Because you'll have, in the media, people love Willie Green. So if you announce Willie Green signed a a 1 year or 2 year extension, you're gonna have people in the media coming out saying, well, he's improved the team every year. They got to the playoffs twice. They got 49 wins. The most, like, you'll see all of that, but people that actually watch the team, because mainstream media don't actually watch the fucking games, to know we was on 27, all these blown 4 quarter leads and all of that, they don't know. But you would have them saying more negativity. So I think that's why the extension was announced. Like, what wasn't announced, I'm sorry. So my thought is Griff, because he's a liar, is getting ready to throw Willie under the bus come this season. You don't announce the extension, but you give Willie a little bit of security, like, all right, look, we're gonna bring you back next year. Let's say you trade for Trae Young. You make the Trae Young trade knowing damn well Willie can't coach no offense. It's gonna give you the reason to come out and say, well, we gotta move to another coach. My suspicion is by 20 to 30 games, Willie is fired.
This year?
This season coming up, 20 to 30. If they make a
What
big
make you
move,
What's the
think that?
record?
it don't matter the record. The offense just got to be
Damn.
terrible.
I think it may be 500.
If they start off like they started off this, let's say he go get Trae Young, right? And they start off this season, because I think they started off the season like 6-8 or 8-6, something like, it didn't look good. And then
Right.
eventually they kind of started getting it together after Z in the post game was like, look, I'm trying to buy in, alluding to what was going on with Brandon and them not wanting to run the offense. So my thought is, let's say 20 to 30 games into the season, if you sitting there somewhere around 15-13, something like that, I think Griff has no choice but to pull the trigger and fire him.
After giving them a secret extension?
That's why I say I don't think the extension was that great, because if the extension isn't that great, like, we don't know how many years, you don't know the amount.
No,
You don't.
that's right.
So you
Go.
think it might be 1 year?
I think exactly. I think the extension was like a 1+1 type deal. Because if it's a 5 year, $70 million deal, why not announce it?
Because it's a 5 year, $70 million deal.
You
That's why you don't know.
the
Everybody would be pissed about that. There would be like
the
a
the
major
But
fan
he
base
may
uproar.
would
he may
look.
have a point though.
The fan base would be upset, but mainstream media would say, "Well, look what Willie did when he got the team compared to where they are now." Now again, we watch the
Ah,
games. We watch the games, so we know that they suck.
I hear a lot of people this year. They were talking down on Willie. Like a lot of the media people and other coaches. Like, I
And
don't know about
commentate
that.
or
Now
and yeah,
maybe before this year, you might be on to something. But
Wh-
after this year, like, man, they seen what he
After
was doing.
after the season ended, we had a lot of people like starting to question Willie, because it was like, okay, but when they lay out the record and say, okay, you went from, what was it, 32 wins, y'all made the playoffs, then you had
Mm-hmm.
the 39, or was it the 42 win, 36 wins, 42 wins, then 49 wins. You made the playoffs 2 of those years. 2 years your best player been hurt. Like, that's all of the stuff they would say. So if he actually announced the extension, I don't think it wouldn't go over well with the Pels fans, but I think you could sell it to the mainstream media. My thought is the extension is not a great extension, and Willie on some, like, if you announce a 1+1, they say, why sign it?
Well, I think it's more like 2 years. I just got to go with this. This organization is so uncreative, and that's
I
usually what
agree.
their extensions
yeah,
have been. Is all 2 year
lack
extensions.
of
That's what they do everybody.
imagination.
Why would they do anything different with it? You know what I'm
Well,
saying? So I think it's probably like 2 years.
yeah. So
And
if it's
boy, if
a
I had $1 for every time a non Pelicans commentator in the NBA during the game said, I don't understand why Willie doesn't play JV more. If I had $1 for that shit, watching all these NBA games, bro, they
yeah,
constantly was talking about that all year.
Mm-hmm.
which I just is let's say you're writing this a 2 year deal. And we known to fire people early. You don't think if he make a deal for Trae Young, if Griff tried to save himself and say, look, because Griff was upset about Willie not playing Jordan either. Like, why am I drafting these players or trading for players if you're not gonna play them? So my thought
Yeah,
is
that's true.
if
Willie
he on
sold him on the idea because of Trey Murphy. To me, I was thinking he was going to do the same thing with Jordan he did with Trey Murphy, except he forgot to play him at the end of the
yeah,
season and in the playoffs
yeah,
for
because
some
he's
reason.
not a good coach, and he has a terrible feel for the game.
Yeah,
So
he does.
yeah, he like if you go to the games and you watch him, you can tell by his mannerisms he has no idea what's going on.
Exactly.
You
That
better
body
speak that.
language.
Yeah, so watching it, and I could just imagine Griff. Let's say it take Brandon, Dyson, Larry, what in two first to get Trey Young, and then you don't run a Zion Trey Young pick and roll. Like I
Cause
just
he
it's
you
Bro,
didn't
it,
see him.
yeah, like
the worst coach in the NBA would at least
Yeah.
have to
And
do that, bro.
that's what the NBA is all about, is pick and roll.
You
and
have
but you
to.
can realistically see a world where he
They
wouldn't
ran it.
do it.
Oh damn, I was just about to say they ran
He
it
was
with
doing them
JJ Reddick, but
daggone
that was Alvin
handoffs.
Gentry. That was Alvin
E-
Gentry running it with JJ Reddick and
exactly.
Zion. But
People
how
were
can you
fighting to see
watch
a
that and see how successful that was and not do it? But that'd be crazy.
yeah. So I'm if that were to be the case, if Griff go all in on a $40 million point guard, that's that's best with the ball in his hand, assist and all of that, and you playing him off ball or spotting him up in the corner.
Hold up, I gotta stop you though.
Mm,
There is no way in hell on God's green earth
Or,
hey, bro.
hey, you
that
know he
Trey
gonna
Young
do it,
come
DC.
here
You know
and
he gonna do it.
Willie Green would not be able to play that dude off ball like that, man.
30 games.
Trey Young not going for it. He
Exactly
let
my
Willie Green
Exactly.
fight.
But
exactly my
hey,
point.
like you said, DC, that's what needs to be done.
That's exactly my
That's why
That's
I
point.
what
want
needs
it.
to
That's
be
why I
done.
want him
That
here
because
because
that's
it's
the
gonna bring
plan. So the
pressure.
thing is,
It,
it's off for Griff.
yep. And that's why I lean to the 30 game type of he won't survive because I can see Willie getting in his
I could
way.
see him surviving. They just
If
gonna
he
do what they want out there on the court, and
Oh,
Willie
you
ain't
on
gonna
some
do shit.
oh
hopium?
Just
No,
like just no no no
Hopium.
no no. Listen.
Mm-mm.
I watched this team with Alvin Gentry, and I watched Lonzo Ball and Drew Holiday tune that nigga the fuck out and just do whatever they wanted to do. And they asked him at the end of the game, like, what do you think about what I don't know what he talking about. He don't know what he talking about. You don't think Trey Young will do that to Willie Green?
he
And
absolutely
he's so non-aggressive that it'll just be a non-topic.
he gonna be good and fired because
Man,
Trey Young will come in and say, "Man, listen, I'm signed for 3 years for this dude to not do nothing."
yeah.
Nah,
we not fire the coach in the middle of the team type of organization.
this would
That's
be
the
the
only
this would
reason
be
I
the
don't
first
agree
time.
with you.
30 games. I'm calling it
You
now.
say 30 games?
Yeah.
30 games. Book it. So this is especially if, let's say,
I
James
mean,
Borrego still on the staff. Somehow he don't take a job. They bring him back as an assistant. That's how they don't transition. They're going to fire Willie, upgrade JB, give him the interim, and then at the end of the season, they're going to go ahead and adjust and say, all right, we'll actually look for a coach. That's the optimistic part of what I think.
You
But
still think JB
what if
stays?
JB come in and do awesome? Then how are you gonna say that?
If he comes in and do awesome, then you keep him.
So you think JB not getting hired by anybody? You think he's staying?
I think I don't think he's taking the Lakers job. Obviously, we all know that that's
if
not
they
really a
pick up
thing.
Dan Hurley, he probably
Yeah.
gonna be picked up as an assistant.
Mm,
Well,
pos-
he still got the Cleveland job that he
right,
in the running for too.
right.
yeah. My
Yeah.
thought is
Who else they looking at?
until it's done, I don't know. Obviously, but
And who the coach in Brooklyn? Ain't Brooklyn looking for a coach?
Nah, they named the coach
No,
on it.
they
yeah,
hired
Oh, okay.
They
their
got the
interim.
coach.
Didn't they hire Charles Lee?
No, that was Carolina.
They
That
hired
was
the dude from the
Charlotte.
Kings. From the
Okay.
Kings. They hired the Kings assistant coach.
The Kings got their coach. They went back with Mike Brown.
okay. So, but that's my thought. If somehow you bring a like JB, and the only reason I think JB would get promoted is like the interim get promoted if he does come back It's because the team will be familiar. He's known as an offensive coach. I think Griff probably working and being like, say, bro, if you don't get these jobs, that's another reason this job gonna be yours. Willie gonna put it. He gonna make sure.
Oh, he definitely saying that shit. I
He
believe
gonna make sure.
he's
Listen,
saying it,
bro.
but I don't know if he's willing to stand
He
on it.
gonna
But he
put.
definitely
Listen,
saying
Willie Green's extension was cheap enough to where Gail gonna eat the money. 30. If he go get the star, it's all based on if he actually makes a quality trade. If he makes the trade to get the star,
Mhm.
30 games, Willie drop the ball, you upgrade JB, give him the interim, and then probably by the end of the season, he'll get the full-blown job, depending on how it go. That's just my thought. If you were to do like the Trae Young deal. As far as drafts, I know everybody been mentioning. The one person I want to talk about real quick, and if y'all want to look it up, cool. And I don't think anybody's mentioned it, is Tyler Smith from
Oh,
the
we
G
did.
League
Man, come
Elite.
on, man. I've mentioned Tyler Smith about 100
No,
times.
no, you missing Tyler Smith. I'm saying a lot of people have not been
Oh,
talking about
okay.
Tyler Smith as far like they mentioned Ware, and I like Ware, but they don't think he's gonna be there. But a lot of people
I
haven't
think
really been.
Tyler Smith might go before Well because he got small forward potential along with power forward. Like he got
Yeah.
three positions he
He
covered.
got the game.
I
But
like
a
him,
lot of the
bro.
mocks lately been having him drop to like 24.
I heard like anywhere from like 8 to 13. That's stuff I've been seeing.
I checked one early.
24 and 27, and that was all stuff I was seeing like 2-3 weeks ago.
I
I was
checked
like, yeah,
one today. One today. I'm not sure who it was because I look at like the hoops highlight, the hoop. What is it? Hoops hype them,
hmm
and then Bleacher put out their stuff all the time. That's why I think don't nobody really paying the dude any mind. But if you watch his game, bruh, he would be an ideal fit. 6'11", 220, space the floor, run, athletic,
Put it
shoot
on
the
your head.
shoot the three like consistently. Like I don't. Well, he shot 40% from three from the G League, and I personally like that because it's the G League, but it's still against professional level talent.
Yeah.
Um,
And he a lefty too. Lefty's pretty good.
yeah. And if you bring him, let's say you bring him in off the bench, people talking so much about how Nas Reed would fit. I mean, you would get a cheaper version of something that could develop into that.
I don't. You think he got Nas Reed potential? I don't know about Nas Reed.
I
Six,
do.
As far as the big man aspect of Nas
maybe
Reed.
not the physicality, but I mean, he's 6'11", 220, and he's 19. I mean, I don't know what he gonna be at
Yeah, he could
22.
turn into anything. He just ain't gonna never be nobody. I don't think he gonna be a dude just attacking people off the dribble and turn into like that Paul George or whatever.
No, I
He
saw
ain't gonna
one
be
the
that
other
type
day
of guy.
said he could be a Channing Frye.
That's
Um,
who Khalil Ware reminds me of. Channing Frye. He kind of looks like Channing Frye right now.
I think either one will work. But
Yeah.
if you go with let's say you make the CJ deal and you bring Collins, right? You got the Trae Young pick and roll back, some familiarity. He stretched. If you did so happen to get a draft pick or something from them, or don't somehow, let's say you were to pull Kessler from them, I don't know if they'll do it or not. But if you somehow got Kessler and Collins, I think you'd be set at the big. I'd take Tyler Smith and I'd run those three.
Yeah, I think it's a lot to try to get both of them, man. Utah got Danny Ainge, bro. Danny Ainge kind of stingy, bro. I don't think he can
Well,
give
I
up
know
both
he
of
I
them.
know he been trying to get off Collins. Collins make 26. Kessler only make like 2-3 million or something like that. He rape us of our picks, but we don't use them well anyway. You might as well go all in on the talent.
Yeah, boy, that rebuild if David Griffin them can't knock this out the park gonna suck without all them
Yeah, so
picks.
I mean at that point, so let's think about it. Let's say they did do that.
What
You would
about
have
how did Trae Young play with Collins? I wonder if you got a connection there,
that's
man.
the
Because
Eastern Conference champions, the Eastern Conference team
I
who he
wonder
made it
if
to the Eastern Conference Finals with.
Trae Young would want that. That is very interesting, bro. Because if we had Collins potentially as our starter or closer at center, and you have Kessler filling in those big man minutes, that is really interesting, bro.
Mm-mm. And
Because
you
if we
have
were to get Trae Young And then you bring Collins. Let's say that's a dude he really liked playing with. And if I'm not mistaken, I think all of the years where he looked awesome, that was all with Trae Young. He ain't really been
Exactly.
doing much in Utah.
He ain't done much since he left.
That's interesting, bro.
That's just my out the box somewhat thinking of how you can somewhat
And who you
manage your
giving up
assets.
CJ? You giving up CJ to do that? Who did you give up?
I'm
for the
giving up
Utah?
CJ.
CJ?
Yep. And that allows you to somehow play. That allows you to make the space to play Hawk. Well, Trey starting. Trey starting, but that allows you to give the minutes off the bench to Hawk. I mean, Dyson is gone. And you still technically could play Jose as the backup. Hawk and Jose as your backup. But I mean, realistically, Trae Young playing what, 35 minutes a game?
Mm-hmm.
So
he don't really have, you don't get no big backup point.
nah, you ain't coming off the floor. So your lineup, so your starting lineup could look something like Trae Young, Z, Trey, Herb, and let's say you did do Collins, right? That's a pretty dynamic lineup, I think. You could pick and roll anywhere. You got space and Collins could space. You might have some trouble defending the 5, but you're gonna run the fuck out of people.
I like it, bro. I like it.
And then you bring,
especially with Kessler, because you
exactly.
We need
a traditional
big man. We need one traditional big man. I believe every team needs one traditional big man.
Go out there, be big, defend the rim. Just we need somebody to dump it down to for those minutes. You have him. You still got Hawk off the bench. I think you could create a space to develop Tyler Smith in that as well, coming off for Trey every now and then. You still be big. Somebody could just space. You'd have shooting all over the place.
Boy, you got a lot of faith in Willie, though, huh?
No, that's why he fired after 30 games.
It's okay. So we seeing the maturation that is taking place is after he get fired. It's really gonna take off.
He will not know how to handle this type of unit, and Griff don't have a choice. Griff don't have a choice, because if they don't do well this year, I think Griff on the line too, and he rather throw Willie under the bus than be fired with
Griff. We just covered a show on Griff. Griff actually got an extension. He got a 5-year extension.
Yeah, he extended himself. But you know what would cut all of that out? Gail ain't listen. Did you go to the playoff? You saw how cheap those tickets were?
What?
They doing half off on concessions.
Yeah.
How you do half off in concessions?
In the playoffs.
They just boosted the ticket sales. Ain't nobody buying tickets right now. Griff got to save himself. Gail gonna say what's happening to the money.
That's some creative movement right there, man. And
Tyler Smith is New Orleans.
I can't give him that.
My man Hakeem said he actually was born and raised
in Houston, I think. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's some very creative movements right there, man. And hell, they need to put you on the staff, man, to keep that type of imagination going, man. Because listen,
AD for assistant GM.
This is right. I mean, man, that's the thing that's been hamstringing them up. Yeah, that's what's been hamstringing. Yeah. See, the thing is, DC, the whole in panel, hold on. Let me give a shout out to the Pel Nation, man. Big ups to y'all. Thank y'all for chiming in. We just crossed over 2 hours on the stream on this Saturday afternoon. Big ups to you. We appreciate you guys for chiming in the stream. If you haven't had an opportunity, please hit the like button. Good Pelican content going on, good news and good imagination, and a bevy of different ideas that's being thrown out there to the Pelican organization, man. Pick up on some of this good free game that the faithful are laying down to you, man, please. Because what we've seen over the last 5 years, and I haven't seen nobody except for us really talk about this 5-year thing that David Griffin, just like they go from 1 year to another. No, we're going to cut this up and do some look at this and find out. We have to be able to figure out how good has it been in 5 years under David Griffin as the vice president of basketball operations. How good has it been? And it has been, if you're looking for the Pelicans to be a title contender, we are not there. We're not there. Now we have talent.
Playoff contender, Q. Just a playoff contender.
Being a perennial.
Good in that.
Right, and that's what it takes, though, DC, doesn't it? The perennial playoff team that ultimately gains enough experience to be able to climb that ladder and gets to the next level. And then what you see is a bevy of different decisions being made by a guy. I don't know what this man talking about. I don't know what he trying to do. It's all these fluffy, non-specific, non-general. I mean, it's just totally general, but nothing specific talking points and fluffy words about good human beings and all this foolishness. We don't like that down here, man. Maybe that work where you come from in Cleveland and in these other places, that don't work. With 5 years of David Griffin has not been very good for the faithful. Let's just keep it real. We just get a physical therapist. I thought this guy was supposed to be knowing how to build teams, man, in the injury situation. He stepped in the door knowing the Pelicans had injury issues. Why didn't he fix it then? We just got a physical therapist last year. That's just crazy to me. 3 coaches in 5 years and a cheap coach with secret extensions. It's utterly ridiculous. You don't do secret signing of contracts. If you do a contract, you report it. You don't sign something late last year in 2023 and then tell the people about it in the summer of 2024. You don't do nothing like that unless you are underhanded, snake oil salesman ass guy. And he found a big time sucker in Gail Benson and this Dennis Lucia chump. These people don't care about nothing but money. So that's why I always tell the faithful, the way you fix their asses is by not going to the games. I know it'll hurt a little bit, but hold your money, hold on to your money and make them earn it, man. I'd say that about it's the same bullshit we're going through with the Saints. It's the same leadership group, same philosophy, same dumb, stupid pecking order on top of the team where they got 2 people, the owner. If she don't know, that's one thing. But the second guy that got the most power, he the president of the basketball operations and don't know nothing about basketball. Are we the only ones to see a problem with that? And I even gave him ideas to reformat or change to make it more effective for basketball. I mean, just look around. We need more basketball-minded people at the top making decisions, maybe in the committee approach. David Griffin is not who you think he is. I've been saying that. He's a micromanager, David, and that's why Langdon got out of here. We were saying this shit for years. Every VP job popping up, Trajan Langdon on the first thing smoking. He tried with Washington. And they a dumpster fire, but he would rather go and be a runner and be the manager of a dumpster fire ass team than to sit here up under David Griffin. Well, he'll never get any credit for. And I caution all people underneath David Griffin. If you are this Bryson Graham, sir, you popping up as a general manager, let me give you a bit of advice when you're working under David Griffin. Open your goddamn mouth and speak more than he does if you want credit for the decisions and the trades or whatever's going on with the team, or you will be the person that's blamed for the failure of it. Because he ain't supposed to be talking nearly as much as he talking. The media go right to him and forget that you even there. And they supposed to be talking to you. That's what I was saying about Trajan Langdon. He didn't want to talk as much. We can't have people underneath David Griffin, and you're the general manager of a professional NBA team, and you're quiet. You're less vocal than a VP. You better open up your mouth and start talking more, holding press conferences, being specific, and how you intend to build this team into the future. Because 5 years and they breaking up the core, that means they have to put new players in there and start all over again. So it ain't like you running something like a Boston where you got a Jalen, you got a Jason Tatum or Jalen Brown. You got a solid core of people where you just add people around the core and just keep it going. Like you've seen what the Golden State do or a couple other teams do. They do the same thing. But we have to just, man, listen, it's truth telling time now, man. This is some foolishness here, man. This foolishness. So, but yeah, go ahead.
The family then posed the question, man. DB says, what about the center for Orlando? And
Wendell Carter?
Man, Hakeem Baptiste. Nope. They're talking about Go Bitzdelsda. So
take another shot at that, DC, please.
Go Delza.
Go.
How would you say?
Is that Goga?
Guga.
What?
And all this time and hook they still ain't work, DC.
Guga. Well, shit, you said it. Well, hold on. Who said?
Tasha, where you at?
Who said that?
Tasha, I thought you said you was.
No. Somebody in the chat talking. You, Mr. English teacher. You go ahead and say his name.
Tasha, I thought you said you was working.
Nah, somebody in the chat talking. I can't let him off the hook. Who making comments in the chat?
Say his name one more time, DC, bro.
No, you
One
got
more
it.
time, DC.
You the English teacher?
One more time, DC. Go ahead, bro.
Hold up, I'm gonna type this shit in Google. I'm gonna let Google.
No. No.
Go
Go ahead, DC.
Goga, bitch, that's how's that?
What? That is totally not it, bro. What you talking
I
about?
was just bullshitting that time. What,
Okay,
which
try to
Goga,
get
bitch, that's bitch that tells it.
Good Lord,
Goga,
DC.
bitch,
Goga
that tells it.
Batadze, bro. Goga Batadze.
There you go.
Jalil was like,
That sound like a Mediterranean dish. You want some Goga Batadze?
No, I don't want none of that shit. You keep
Get a plate of Goga
throw that shit out. No, we don't want no, but don't potatsi. And Jalil just got fed up and said, man.
Yeah, Jalil got it. He looked it up and listened to Siri. But
No,
look
Jalil
that up
knows how to read,
ESPN, man.
Oh,
Pull up his ESPN stats. Q out. I'm looking at it.
I am, bro. I'm about to pull it up. I got you.
Because he don't average a lot. He's like 5 points, 4 rebounds, and I went and looked at the games, looking at his minutes, and I see he don't play a lot of minutes, but they had a few stretches where it looks like he played a lot of minutes. He put up some impressive stats, man. I see some games here where the man had four blocks in back-to-back games. That was against Cleveland and then against Detroit.
Thank you, A. Davis.
4 blocks in back-to-back games. He had some 11, 10, 8, 9, 9, 9, 11, 10, 14 rebound games. He ain't getting a lot of points. He had a few double-double games. But this dude looks like he could have potential as some type of rim protector. I don't know a lot about him. Maybe pull up some highlights of him.
Yeah, I'm about to look
but
into
he looked like he got some potential. Is he a free agent, DB? DB brought him up.
That's an interesting.
He's a free agent. He's a free agent,
that's an interesting.
They got him on the Magic roster. It looks like maybe they're trading him. I don't know. He was a 2019 first round pick, 18.
Man, we don't need him, man. Don't nobody even know
him. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I'm looking at him, and if we could get this dude, he cheap. Shit. You talking about somebody to get you 4? I'm looking at, man, this dude got multiple games with 4 blocks, man.
Yeah, he good on defensive end, but I'm telling you right now, he gonna foul out by the good 70% of them.
Yeah, he got 4 fouls, 3.
DC, what's his name again?
I ain't seen him foul. He ain't foul out all season, bro. You being rough on him.
DC, what's his name again? Let me what is it again?
Now your ass was just sitting up here with me, and you heard the man pronounce it.
Georgia is a country too.
And you with the big whale head want me to believe you forgot how to say his name already?
Just asking you, brother. Just to say it, brother.
What you asking me for? You know how to say it.
I'm just asking. The family members want to know because you might be pronouncing this man.
Ain't no family members want to know. It's just you and Tasha.
Well, you might get him in trade, brother. You got to learn his name.
Okay, well, I'll cross that bridge when I get to it.
Got a whole summer of practice, huh?
There you go.
Man, this dude DC is off the chain, man. All right, DC got the first name right, Goga. All right, DC, that's all good. There he is on screen right there.
Okay.
I mean, but see, it's a big that hustles around the rim, that that's good at following up shots, whatnot. You can see him way out there. He take a 3-pointer and hit it.
Took a 3.
Yeah, I don't know how efficient he is at shooting it though. That's the
only thing. Not, man. This the third center, man. He might have potential, but he ain't been getting a lot of opportunities. I like what I'm seeing for a cheap center option. I don't know if I'm ready to crown him as a starter.
Man, he ain't got no pressure. Don't let that fool you, man. He gonna get here. We gonna be like, man, we should have never did.
He looks good in their system.
We don't need our center to be like our
We
center
don't.
is gonna be
We,
like our
we,
fifth guy on offense, man.
we also
I don't
need
care
to
about
know.
his offensive game that much. And if he could if he could hit a wide open 3-point shot, that's great. But defense is really what I care about in rebounding.
I don't know.
He
We
could
don't need
do
no.
that.
We
I
don't
mean,
need
you're
no
gonna
more.
draft a center still, so if he could just be like a placeholder until whoever you drafted steps their game up. If this is the cheap option, we can't do the Jared Allens but let's be real, man. If you paying Trae Young, you paying Trey Murphy, and you paying Zion, would it really be smart to pay a center $20-something million too?
This guy came from Indiana, man.
Oh, University?
No, the Pacers. He was with the Pacers.
Oh yeah, he was. Yeah, I do remember that.
What do you do with the Pacers, Q? Let's see his stats with the Pacers.
Well, I got him on screen right here.
He seems like he's just a backup center. That's all it is.
Yeah,
well, I mean, he played starting. I'm looking at the
Well,
you look at his game logs. He was a starter when I guess Wendell Carter Jr. One of them must have been hurt.
I mean, but if you look at the Magic, he got a lot of size. They ain't got too many. Ain't nobody as big as Wendell. Once Wendell go down,
towards the end of the season, they was playing him, man. They was playing this dude towards the end of the season, man, and he looked pretty solid.
I don't know.
Well,
pull up the game logs, Q, and look at towards the end of the season where he was getting consistent minutes. He had a game where he got 22 minutes, 30 minutes, 26, 27, 29, 28, 25 minutes.
Yeah, I got his
in those games, you talking about a man had a game where he was 15 of 11 with an assist. Another game, 15 of 7 with 4 blocks, 2 assists. Another game, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 blocks, 13 points.
Shoot, let's just give him. Let's give him 2 more.
You get that for a cheap contract,
yeah. Let's just give him 2 more years, and then we'll see if we want to bring him over here.
Man, we need something this year.
Nah, we're gonna wait.
This will be a good backup plan. Obviously, you got other guys you want, but if we can't pull off no trades, man, and they go get a guy like this, and then we still draft one of the higher end, a Tyler Smith, Khalil Ware, Zach Edey, Darren Holmes, one of those guys in the draft, like y'all would be mad?
No, I think they need size because you lose a 7-footer in Valanciunas because he ain't coming back. Valanciunas is not coming back, so you lose that height. Then
6'10", 250, man. He got size.
Did you see him?